Hey, what's up guys? Today we hit quads, that's amazing, but we also go on a bit of a roller coaster. If you guys want to see how the full video goes and how the entire journey goes, because it's a crazy one tonight, make sure you stay tuned until the end. Other than that, let's get in these poker hands. Alright guys, we are starting this video off strong. We look down and see Pocket Kings, the second best hand in No Limit Hold'em. So of course we're raising up to 15. The middle position wants to call and it gets around to the button. He calls as well, and then the small blind goes all in for $43. Now the game's a little shorthanded at this point. We raise it up to go all in for 155. I had lost some pots, so that's why we don't have a round even number. And now we're just waiting and hoping that the other two players call as well. And as we wait, let's take a look at this little statistic. That's right guys, 92% of you guys are not even sub to the channel. So if you could, it would really help out the channel. It would really help me out a lot and I'd very much appreciate it. Just go down and drop that subscribe button. It is free to do, will not cost you a single penny, plus it will help the channel immensely. Anyways, let's get back to the action and see what these other two players decide that they're going to do. After a little bit of thinking and after a little bit of deliberating, the middle position player finally makes the decision and he decides that he is going to sit this one out. Unfortunately, he does decide to fold. The button has already walked away from the table and folds as well. So we're going two ways to a run out. We discuss how we want to do it. He says he wants to go 2 full boards. As you guys know, I'm perfectly fine with that. And at this point, I think I'm just going to let you guys go to the game audio so you can hear it live and hear what happens play by play instead of me breaking it down for you. So let's get to that game audio and see how these two boards run out.
Just fucking quad.
This is time for high hand, buddy.
There you go. And
Block
kings and fours.
Jack kicker.
That's cool. That 4 saved me for
Kings and fours on the bottom.
That's nice.
On the fucking river. Fuck you, Marcus. Who invited you to play? That's a good ass damn. I'm gonna take you out the text list.
I'm here, sir. I'm still stuck. I don't know what to tell you.
Take you out the text list.
I gave it all away early. Huh? Oh yeah. Fuck! I should have gotten a picture of the board. I didn't.
Nope.
That's right guys, we scoop the other hand and look down at an improvement from Pocket Kings. That is right again, we look down at Pocket Aces, the very best hand in Texas Hold'em. Now, to give you guys a little bit of context, I started this a little bit late. The middle position player had raised it up to 15. It got around to me and I re-raised it up to 55, and that's where we pick up the hand. Action gets back around to the middle position player and he decides to call the 55, so we're going heads up to a flop. And the flop is actually not that good for our Pocket Aces. It's 8, 6, 7 with 2 diamonds. The middle position player acts first. He gathers up all his chips, looks at the board, looks at me, and shoves them into the middle. He is all in for $160. I look back at my hand, I stack up my chips. I have Pocket Aces with Ace of Diamonds. I'm not going anywhere, even though this is a very bad board for Pocket Aces. It does have a lot of draws. He can also be doing this with some overpairs. He could be doing it with 9s. He can be doing it with 10s. He can be doing it with, kings, any kind of overpair that we're still ahead of. So I make the call. We discuss how many times we're going to go, and he says he wants to go 3 times. I say okay. So we go to 3 runouts. He could have a set already, but I think having the Ace of Diamonds, we can't really fold in this spot. That's why I call. At this point, he could have King, Queen of Diamonds, and I don't want to see another diamond. Also, I don't want to see any face cards, because like I said, he could have Queens, Jacks, 10s, things like that. So basically, no diamonds, no overcards. We don't want to see half the deck.
God, please, no! 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 Yeah, boy.
All right, so the first turns were diamonds and the first rivers were diamonds as well. So we have the nut flush on each of the first two runouts. Our opponent chose pocket tens. So when the 3 of spades and 8 of spades come out in the final runout, it does not matter because we had him dead to 2 tens and 4 nines. So we're going to scoop this $430 pot, and let's move on to the next hand. All right, guys, for the next hand, we do have a $5 button straddle. I put on the $10 straddle behind. We got a little bit of degeneracy going on. We look down and see pocket fives. The button calls for another $5. It folds around to the under the gun player. She decides she wants to play for $10, so she flicks that in the middle position, calls the 10 as well. With fives, I don't think there's any reason to raise and bloat up the pot. We're searching for a set, let's just be honest. So I check it, and we go 4 ways to the flop, which is 5, 3, 4. That's right, we flop top set. Now, I'm not worried about too much on this board, so I check it. It checks through. The turn is the jack of hearts. I'm hoping someone is able to catch up here, like maybe someone hit this jack, ace jack, king jack, queen jack, something like that, and it seems like that may have paid off because the under the gun player bets 15, middle position calls, and now is the perfect time to spring my trap. I raise it up to $40. The button gets out of the way. The under the gun player, she thinks better of it, folds her cards, in the middle position player calls. So we're going heads up to the river. And when the river comes out is the inconsequential queen of diamonds, I think that nothing has really changed. So when the middle position player leads for 45, I'm kind of, thrown off a little bit. I'm not really sure what hand is going to lead on this river because I raised on the turn. So I'm a little bit confused, but he does lead out for 45. Maybe it's a blocker bet. Maybe it's something like that. Either way, I don't think he has a set of jacks or a set of queens with how the flop or how the pre-flop action was. So I ship it all in for $255 effective because that is what he has in his stack in total. So there's $435 in this pot so far, and he only has like 210 behind to kind of finish up and call this. So I think anything that river top pair is going to be likely to call. If he has queen jack, it's a mandatory call, I think, in this spot. And, like I said, ace queen, anything like that is in a really tough spot. So when he doesn't snap call, I'm excited. I know we have the best hand, and I'm just praying he puts his chips in. Like I said, there's no hand he can have here that beats me, so I'm not really concerned about it. The only hand he could have had would have been 6-7, but obviously he would have snap called with that because that is the nuts. He could have a set of 3s. He could have a set of 4s. All these things I think would call by now. So like I said, I think he's got something like top pair, maybe queen jack, but I think queen jack sticks it in by now too. Either way, he's in the blender, taking his time. Eventually, he does decide that he's going to make the call. He asks if we have a straight, and I say I don't. I tell him I have a set of 5s. He shows us he did go runner, top 2 pair. So checking the flop got us max paid here and got him extremely coolered. Sucks for him. I feel bad, but it's poker. This is the way it happens. Either way, we're scooping up a $645 pot. Let's go. Well, the $10 straddle worked for us last time, so I figured let's implement it again. The button put 5 on it. I decided to put 10 behind him. We look down and see ace-deuce suited. A very good starting hand for not even looking and making it $10. So I'm happy with it. Button calls. Under the gun player goes all in for $75, which is like a 7x raise, but I feel like he's going to do this with any kind of pocket pair, jack 10 suited, king queen suited, things like that, because we already have $20 out there. Middle position calls, I think he may be calling somewhat light, so I decide to make the call as well. The button then decides to jam for $165. I forgot he was in the hand, in all honesty. I thought I had closed the action. I made a mistake for that, and that one's on me. That is why in this position, if you have ace-deuce suited, you should probably just fold for a $75 bet. I was trying to give action. I was trying to have fun with my buddies, but regardless, now this pot is ballooning up, and we have a player all in for 75, a player all in for 165. And when the middle position player thinks about it for a second and decides eventually that he is actually going to make a call, I feel like I'm getting priced in, and I decide to make the call as well. So we are going heads up to a flop with 2 players already all in, praying that I can hit a flush because I doubt my ace is good at this point. And once again, this is why you don't really call these large of raises with ace-deuce suited. But that is why this is a do as I say channel and not a do as I do channel, because I make the mistakes so you guys can make maximum profits on the games you play. Either way, it's regardless. Like I said, we're going heads up to a flop, hoping to hit, I don't know, man, like 3, 4, 5, I guess. That seems like it'd be a safe flop. But there's a little discrepancy with the chips. The dealer forgot to bring in the $5 from the button, and the button player is making sure that it goes to the correct pot. They get everything right, and eventually we finally get there to the flop of a beautiful Jack 3 Queen with 2 hearts. We flop absolutely nothing other than a runner straight. Yeah, luckily it checks through though. Jack of clubs comes on the turn. That checks through as well. There's no reason for me to bet and bluff. There's 2 other players all in, so it's kind of, it doesn't matter. River's 8 of diamonds. That checks through as well. We flip over our cards in this $570 pot. Let everyone know we have ace high. Yeah. Shocker. It's not good, guys. It's not good. I know. Who would have thought? Somehow the button has 9-10 offsuit for a straight, so he was getting kind of squirrely and getting kind of crazy. Either way, he got there and he beat us. So his straight now takes down the side pot, and it goes to the main pot, which we're not a part of at all. But that under the gun player that I thought it could have been raising wide was in fact raising with pocket queens. So he flopped top set, turned queens full, and had everyone drawing dead. Congrats to him. No more ace-deuce suited for $165 pre-flop. Let's move on to the next hand. We look down and see the ace-queen offsuit in this hand. We raised up to 15. The person to our left decides to call in the big blind, and another player, I believe, calls. So we're going 4 ways to this flop, which is 9 ace 4 with 2 hearts. So we flop top pair with a very good kicker. Checks does. We lead out for 20. Folds around to the big blind. He decides he's going to call for 20 more. He makes the call. Everyone else gets out of the way, so we're going heads up to the turn, which is the Jack of diamonds. That's right, brings in another flush draw. Now there's a heart and diamond flush draw, and the big blind decides to lead out for $25. I make the call, and we're going to the river, which is the 10 of clubs. Now, I don't really like this card. It makes a lot of 2 pairs of betas. Granted, both of the flush draws miss, but anyways, I'm gonna let you guys go live audio so you guys can hear kind of what's going on in my thought process and what the other player is saying during this hand.
75.
Yeah, I play like what? Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe later.
Yeah, you know strategy.
I just don't.
I got a dog I'm trying to buy.
I don't be nothing.
Yeah, that's how he had me up in this motherfucker. Yeah. Play like one. He would have pushed out. He ain't know yet.
Yeah, I think I got a fold, man.
Yeah. Play like one. Now I see how you run that money up.
Yeah.
Gotta learn how to play like one.
Before he gets back around here and sees how he lost.
What do I beat? I don't beat anything. Missed heart, but he ain't gonna bet missed heart. Oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's how you do me. Have me over, you got down, scratch my head for a ball and shit. Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I think I'm behind. Nice bet.
My God.
So yeah, I ended up folding. I talked to him later. He said he had a worse ace, but I don't know if a worse ace bets there. Either way, let me know in the comments. Do you think I made a good fold or a bad fold? It's definitely a tough spot. But you know, I'm trying to play tighter and play better, even though I don't all the time. Anyways, onto this hand. I have 7-8 of clubs, raise it up to $15. We get a couple of callers and are going 3 ways to the flop. Hopefully this hand goes better than the last. The flop isn't bad when it comes out 3-7-4 rainbow. So we have top pair, not the best kicker, but we do have backdoor flush and runner straights, I suppose. Either way, I think it's a good board for me. So I lead out for $30. Player folds and it gets around to the button. The button thinks about it for a second, looks at my bet, shuffles up his chips a little bit. Man, that is some good chip shuffling. Anyways, he decides $30 is not going to be enough to see a turn on this hand, so he raises it up to 90. Now, I think he can be doing this with overpairs like 9s, 10s, things like that. I think he could have jacks and have just called pre-flop. He's that type of player. He could also have 4s and 3s, I suppose, but that's very unlikely. So I make the call, hoping to improve on the turn. And that is exactly what happens when the 7 of diamonds peels off. We make trips. That's right. Only thing we're behind are basically a set of 4s, set of 3s, and I suppose 5, 6 for the flop straight. The button decides to go all in. When I check it to him, I ask for a count, but honestly, I do not think we can fold after we improve this much on the turn. So at this point, I'm just trying to see how much it's going to cost me. I do feel like we're behind just because of how this player plays and how confident he was. So I make the call. Turns out he did have 5, 6, the flop straight. Rivers is a queen of hearts, did not improve us. So unfortunately, we lose this $581 pot. On to the next hand. Our luck has to turn around eventually, and what better hand than King Queen of clubs to make it happen? That's right, we look down at a beautiful premium, even though clubs haven't done us right so far tonight. Maybe this will be the hand that turns it all around. Action gets to me, I raise it up to $15. It folds around one by one. The button here is tanking. He says he has a good hand, and he has the button, but he folds around. We get one caller, and then we get another caller. So we're going 3 ways to the flop, and hopefully it's a good one. I am not too sad at all when I see the deuce queen 10 flop with 2 spades. That's right, we finally flop top kicker with, well, top pair with a decent kicker. Anyways, I lead out for $30. The middle position player checks his cards, decides he's going to call the 30, and action gets around to the hijack. She decides to call as well. So we're still going 3 ways to the turn, which isn't that bad when it comes out the 8 of hearts. Now, it does bring in jack 9, but when action goes check, check to us, I don't think I can be worried too much about monsters under the bed. I have to bet my hand. I have to charge the flush draws, the weaker queens like queen jack, queen 9, things like that. So I lead out for $60. The middle position player has a mouthful of food. He puts in the 60, and then the hijack has a little bit less than 60. She hems and haws for a minute, but decides that she's going to put her money in as well. So we still have 3 players with 2 having action behind going onto this river card. The dealer gets the pots right, and I'll be honest with you guys, last thing I want to see on this river is going to be a spade. If there's no spade, I think we're good. Yep, you guys guessed it. Deuce of spades, middle position player checks to me. I snap check behind. I am never betting this board on this river. He shows he had the king high flush. She whips over her cards. She has the ace high flush. That's right, we couldn't fade a spade when our opponents had all of the spades in their hands. Not gonna lie, feel tilt coming on to the next hand. Alright guys, so for the next hand we look down and see pocket 9s. A pretty good hand, if I do say so myself. Not the best, not the worst, but hey, it's a decent hand. Can get us out of tilt mode. Who knows? We have tons of possibilities. Could be a double up in our future. You don't know, okay? You don't know. Anyways, middle position player decides he's going to go all in for $108. Action gets around to us. I snap call because I told you guys, tilt's coming in. It's 108. It's not that much. I got pocket nines. Okay, I called. Okay, it is what it is. Deal with it. You play your money how you want. This is how I want to play my money. I see pocket nines. I see 108 in a 1-2 game. I'm calling. That's all there is to it. Anyways, let's go to a flop. Well, I guess first we can see where we're at. We have pocket nines. He shows that he has pocket eights. Let's go. Finally on the right side of a cooler for once in our lives, it feels like, or at least tonight. Haven't been running too good. Started off great, but then everything changed. Anyways, heads up to the flop, and it's 5-6-6. Okay, we're doing good. We faded it. Fucking 8 on the turn. He boats up on the turn. Deuce of hearts on the river. We lose this one. 8s versus 9s. On to the next hand. All right, guys, we are not going to let the tilt get the best of us. We have $5 on the button to juice up these pots. Look down and see ace queen offsuit. Very beautiful hand for a $5 button straddle. Action folds around. There's about 3 callers before it gets back to us, and having a premium like ace queen on the button, of course we are going to bump this one up. We make it $25. Action gets to the under the gun player. He decides 25 seems like a reasonable amount. He tosses the chips into the middle, and then the under the gun +1 or mill position or whatever you guys want to call this player. I don't know all the names. I'm not a professional. Okay, I do this for fun. This is not a living, even though I do make some money off of it. Anyways, the player to his left looks at his cards, decides he's going to fold. In the mill position, player calls. So we are going 3 ways to a flop. Hopefully we can hit, and if we do hit, hopefully we can hold, and hopefully we can win one. The flop is queen 7-3 with 2 diamonds. We flop top pair, top kicker, plus we have the ace of diamonds. This is looking like a good flop for us so far. So when action checks to us, I think we have a very obvious C-bet. I put out $35. I think that's a good amount. It's a little bit less than half pot here, and maybe we could have gone a little bit larger. Looking at the board, I think actually a larger bet size on this board would have been better. Either way, under the gun calls, and we're going heads up to the turn, which is the 6 of diamonds. It does bring in the front door flush, but we have that ace of diamonds, so we kind of block some of the flush draws, very much the nut flush draws. Words are hard, okay? Anyways, when it checks to us, I think we have another bet. I bet out $60, a little less than half pot. Now, I do think this one should be a smaller bet, but I think the flop bet should have been larger. Either way, what do I know? He raises us to 125, basically a min click with $5 on top. Having the ace of diamonds, I think for just a min click, we have to make a call here and see what happens on the river. So I put in the chips, we call, and we're going to the river in a $385 pot. The river comes out, and it is the blank 4 of clubs. That does complete some straights. It gives some 2 pair combinations, but the flush is what I'm worried about. That's what I think he has. He goes all in for 210, and I am in the blender here, guys. He obviously doesn't care about the straight. He has no regard for any card that comes on the river. He was going to be going all in no matter what it appeared. And I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying, but the tilt is creeping in. I want to play good. I want to make good decisions in poker, but we can't always be perfect. That being said, in this spot, having the ace of diamonds, like I said, I block the nut flush, so it's not like he has that as a bluff. I zoom in on the board one last time before I decide to fold. I asked the player later. He did say he had the flush, so we saved some money there, hopefully. But anyways, on to the next hand. All right, guys, for the next hand, we look down at a premium, much better than ace queen. This is ace king, and as we all know, ace king is the nut no pair in hold'em. So feels good to look at a super premium, and when action gets around to us, of course, with this hand, I'm going to raise it up to 15. And action folds around to the small blind player. The big blind, I don't remember who it is at this point, but I'm sure we're going to find out on screen in just a second. Either way, they decide to make the call. It's big blind. I think it's actually a small blind. I think I messed that up. Regardless, that player makes the call. Under the gun goes all in for 170. I snap call. I have ace king. it just is what it is. We're probably in a flip. Hopefully he's got king queen, ace queen, something like that. That would be ideal. But either way, I have ace king. We're on tilt. We haven't won a hand in a while. We've got to win this one. We're due, boys. That's the way poker works. When you're due, you're due. We just all know this, right? There's no run bad forever. Anyways, he flips over pocket threes, and we have ace king. So naturally, with pocket threes, what else are you going to do other than ship in your entire stack pre-flop? Very pro move by him. Flop comes out 7-5-8. We missed that. Queen of clubs comes on the turn, and the deuce of spades. Pocket threes wins. On to the next hand. All right, guys, this is the final hand of the night. Under the gun, raised up to 15. I had just loaded on for $300 more in chips. I have ace queen offsuit. I make it $55. Action folds around. One by one, it gets back to the under the gun player, who decides $55 is not quite enough, and he puts me all in for my entire stack. Let's go to the audio so you guys can hear how the hand played out.
You're all in?
All in. That's what I said.
Shit!
Put you to the test, bro. I'll put you to the test, Marcus. I'm ready to gamble.
No, you're not. You have a hand.
You do too. Get out of there, Marcus. What are you doing? Okay, that's a lot of money, dude. $300? Get out of there. No sweat.
Give yourself 55.
Huh?
Give yourself 55.
I give myself 100. I gave you 100.
Okay, yeah, that works.
That's why I made sure I gave you 100 total.
Fuck!
Don't do it, Marcus. I'll let you off easy. I'll let you off easy, Marcus.
Hey, I wrote it down.
Get it in PLO versus donkeys. Not me, dude. I'm a nit. I promise. I'm a nit.
I know you have a good hand. Fuck!
I've also been drinking.
No, it ain't breaking.
You're gonna hit the quad, don't worry.
Yeah, you're
I'm
gonna
gonna hit the quads. Oh, this coming from the guy who hit his 2-outer on me. Fucking threes hold, hits 2-outers. He acts like I'm the only one who's lucky. What do you do this way? Chris, give me 3.
Anything?
I've been ripping. I can't.
It's fine. He's right there.
I don't even. Oh god, that's so huge. Fuck, I'm in trouble. Yeah.
Yo, high hand.
I had out.
Silver King.
Thank you, sir.
Nice thing. Ace King good?
Please say you had ace king.
No, Steven, I did not have ace king on the last hand, although it was irrelevant. If I did ace queen, ace king, it's the same thing. He had aces full, I would have lost the hand. But anyways, let me know how you guys think I played. Watching back all the video and editing and doing all that stuff, I don't think I played as bad as I originally thought I did. I think I had some red bad, definitely had some spots where I could have lost a little less money. That last hand with the 300 and I got it all in, that was complete tilt. I could have avoided that, but other than that, I don't think I played too bad. I think I ran bad a little bit, but like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments. We ended up taking a $600 loss. That's what you guys wanted to hear. And tune in for the next video. Hopefully we can start running it back up because losing never feels good. But hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Hope you enjoy the content. If you do, make sure you subscribe, hit the like button. It all helps out with the algorithm. I don't know, it's some technical stuff. I don't know how YouTube works. Anyways, thanks for showing up and showing love. Catch you guys on the next one.